What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel. In today's video, I've got a ton of requests for it, so we're finally gonna do it. We're doing a full breakdown on my 2000 Jeep Cherokee. A lot of money, a lot of work is done, and I'm gonna tell you guys everything that I've done so far. So, run the intro.
I got crazy thoughts that stay on my mind. I promise I'm fine. I'm doing alright. And I'm back again.
Okay, guys, so you guys asked and I answered. So you guys know this is my 2000 Jeep Cherokee. I got this thing back in high school. I've been daily driving it for the past 4 years or so. So when I bought it, it was pretty much stock. As you guys can see, we've been through a lot. A lot of different versions. There's been a lot of different modifications to it. We've changed a lot of things, but I'm gonna run through the setup we have right now, starting with the body, moving to the suspension, kind of working our way front to back. So let me get my list and we'll start reading some stuff off. Hope you guys love me rambling, because there's gonna be a lot of that today. I am gonna read off the parts and kind of show you in the camera and flash the pictures and videos right here. But anyway, starting off on the body up front. Starting off, we're gonna start off with the bumpers. This is a JCR off-road bumper, powder coated to their nice finish, and it has been amazing. It has been extremely durable. And next to that, we have eBay headlights with running lights built in. We have tinted turn signals, and then if we keep working our way back, I've got my rod louver hood vents. Those things have been awesome to keep the engine cool and everything like that. And yeah, they're awesome. I got them used off Facebook and they turned out great. And they're not dryer vents. That's what everybody says. But next move back, we have the Bushwhacker fender flares. These flares, I love them. They're the flat style flare instead of the big blocky flare. I almost got the blocky flares, but I really just don't like how they fit on the body. And I don't have to drill into my door on the back. So I really like the Bushwhacker flares. And the best part is that you can set stuff on them while you're working. So definitely love those. Those are about 500 bucks, but I have all the prices and stuff somewhere. We'll talk about it. Next, moving on back, for the body at least, we have tint all the way around 20%, which we did in-house. And then moving to the back of the car, we have my Smitty built rear tire carrier that swings fully open and you can get inside. We've got a gas tank. We've got a full-size spare tire. It's brand new. We got tinted taillights. Every light on here has been replaced. Everything's brand new. But tinted taillights, tinted that. We got a CB antenna, rear quarter armor, and on the roof, we went ahead and bedlined my roof. My roof was really faded pretty bad. All the clear coat was gone. So we went ahead and just put a bed liner on it, and it turned out really nice. It's really durable. It's been there for about a year and I've had no problems at all. So along with that, we have a backup camera and rear reverse lights. So we've got I didn't like it. When I first got this thing, I really hated how most built SUVs were really front heavy. If you know, like most vehicles, they put a bumper on, they put a winch on, off-road lights, everything like that. And the back kind of lacks. It just kind of looks like a big face, like a big bulldog. So I wanted to even it out by putting on this bumper and all that stuff like that. So it turned out really nice. I really love the look, and that spare tire carrier is a lifesaver. That thing's awesome. But anyway, let's move back up to the front and talk about suspension. Moving on to suspension and steering up front. I've done a lot to beef up my front suspension and everything. But to start off, we have a 4.5-inch lift. Some of it's from Rusty's Off-Road. The coil springs are. We've got Rough Country shocks, Rough Country sway bar links that are removable, and of course wheels and tires. We're running 33 1250s on 15 by 8-inch rim, and we've been running that for about 2 years now, and it's been running great. No problems at all. I really like it. The only thing it sucks is that we do wear out ball joints pretty fast and wheel bearings. But it is what it is. Let's move on to the front steering and axle. So steering is a Caf Fab 1-ton setup. It is Heim joint upgraded with, we've got a Rough Country track bar, This thing I've had for a while now. It's been adjusted. It's not my favorite thing, but right now it's welded out, so it can't adjust anymore. But I definitely need to upgrade that, but it's worked so far, no real problems. Along with that, we have a rough country steering stabilizer and a few other odds and ends. On the axles themselves, the front axles, every bushing has been replaced. Every bearing, the wheel bearings have been replaced like 3 or 4 times on each side, just because they wear out pretty fast, and I've got lifetime warranties on them. Along with that, we've got new ball joints on both sides and new axle shafts on both sides. So the whole front end's basically been rebuilt. Along with that, we have upgraded, welded in lower control arm mounts on the axle, because when I first got this thing, they actually broke when I was not being a smart person. But we went ahead, pulled the axle out, welded in new stronger supports for the control arms, and we haven't had any problems since then. So up front, everything's been upgraded. So along with that, we have a new steering box. So everything steering related, front suspension related, is completely replaced. Let's move on to the back. All the back is originally I bought 3.5-inch leaf springs, and we put a 2-inch shackle on them to get up to about 5 inches of lift to go with my 4.5-inch up front, and then we got this bumper so that weighed the back down. So we went ahead and added a helper spring from Rough Country on top of the 3.5-inch leaf springs plus the 2-inch shackle. So right now we're right at about 5 inches of lift in the back, along with Rough Country shocks in the back too. So all that stuff's brand new within the last year or two. And it's had no problems so far. We run the same tires on the back as the front, and we still have drum brakes on the back, but they do perfectly fine. No issues at all. But let's move on to the engine up front. I think that's everything for the body and suspension. And that reminds me, before I forget, I do have upgraded limb risers, or just have limb risers. No one else has limb risers. Nobody knows what these things are. So these things are what they do. You're driving down a trail, and if there's branches hanging over in front of you, instead of scratching all your paint up everything, these things just lift the branches up as you're driving by. So these are Smitty built limb risers. They're for a Jeep JK, but they've been modified to fit on here. And I like them. They really don't serve much of a purpose other than just kind of looks, and I just like the functionality. But connected to that, we have the light bar up top, which is just a cheap light bar off Amazon, and I'm pretty sure it's full of water right now. Let's go ahead, open the hood up, and I'll talk about that. Guys, also on the side we have these American flag decals, and I went ahead and just took the trim off the side to go along with it. So other than that, everything is completely stock. So let's talk about the engine. The engine is a stock 4.0. So I haven't done anything to the bottom end of this thing, and I haven't taken the head off either. So everything there, bottom end and top end for the most part, is completely stock. I haven't touched it, but every supporting feature has been replaced basically. So we're going to kind of start left and work our way right. Starting off, I went ahead and did the Big 7 cable upgrade. That is sponsored by Jeep Cables. If you guys want to go check them out, link is in the bio. Those guys are awesome. They hooked me up with the cables, big upgrade, and we have some more Jeep cable stuff, but I'll get to that in a second. Along with that, we have an external fuse box that runs all the electronics on this thing, along with another loom that controls everything from the different lights to the fans to just a bunch of different fuses for stuff. The speakers we used to have on here. So we got a new battery that's a platinum autocraft. We went ahead and placed all the coil rail along with the water pump, thermostat, all the hoses, temp sensor, and then we have valve cover gasket, like I said, a water pump, and then new radiator, and then we have aftermarket fans that are wired into a switch in the dash and also hooked up to the stock switch. So whenever the stock E-fan turns on, these aftermarket fans turn on as well. Super handy, especially in the summertime. Moving on right, exhaust is all stock. Power steering pump, the lines have been replaced, but everything else is fine. We have an aftermarket air intake, which I don't think really does anything, but it's there. And we have a throttle body spacer, which also doesn't do that much either. Also, we went ahead and upgraded to 12 nozzle injectors, so they have really helps with vapor lock in the injection and heat soak. It helps with that a lot. But also a little bit of performance, but upgraded Bosch 12 nozzle injectors. We have a PA system in here. We also have rock lights on the body. Every sensor has been replaced. Crankshaft position sensor, cam sensor, throttle body sensor, TPS, map sensor. All the sensors have been replaced. Every sensor that's known to go bad on these things has been replaced. Most of them more than once. So the engine, it runs really good. Nothing crazy, but it's just a stock 4.0 with 194,000 miles on it. So enough for the engine. Let's move on to the interior. Okay guys, moving on to the interior. Yeah. Guys, moving on to the interior. The interior in here is one of my favorite parts about the Jeep, just because it's nothing crazy, but it's just a nice, clean interior. So, all right, starting off, sound system. We've completely replaced every speaker in here with nice kickers. We have a 12-inch sub in the back with a 4,000 watt amp, which bumps, and it's awesome. So that is definitely one of my favorite parts about this thing. Not to mention, moving on to by far my favorite upgrade for my Jeep, hands down, is my double din radio. So a while back, I reached out to a guy named Paul at Jeep Cables. If you're watching this, thank you, Paul. And he was just coming out with this prototype, basically, of a double din dash kit for the Jeep XJs. If you guys know, if you guys have one, you guys know you can't do that without some kind of aftermarket support. So I did a video on it. It's doing really good. Click the link. But basically, we put a double din in here. This double din has CarPlay. It hooks up by the USB port I installed down here. But it's great, hands down. It's got a backup camera hooked up to it. But moving on past that, we've got every light in here is LED, along with the dash lights. We went from the old green to a nice ice blue, which is brand new. Both seats were broken at one point because a big fat guy used to own this thing. And so I had to take the seats out, weld the seats up. So all those brackets are brand new and sturdy. We got a switch panel with my nice custom switch here with a bullet casing on it, which is sweet for my fans, front and rear lights, and a few other things. Just floor mats, window regulators have been replaced, wiring's been replaced. Let's see, we got a CB in here. We got a toolbox in the back along with my sub, and for the, what else we got? We also have some gun racks in the back. Along with gun racks, we have a gun safety or a gun storage thing under my back seat, which is one of my favorite mods I've done. Just kind of makes it nice because I can have my firearms with me without worrying about them being seen through the window or anything like that. So that's nice. Guys, don't try and rob this thing, please, now that you know my secrets. Along with that, we have a new headliner, which was put in, probably, it was right when I got it. It was a brand new headliner. Also, guys, all my doors are completely removable. A couple years ago, me and some friends decided, you know, it'd be sick if we took the doors off my Jeep. All the doors are completely removable. Only thing holding them in is pins on each hinge. So what we did, and I can do a video on it if you would like, but basically we took the old factory hinges off, marked where they were, drilled those out to, I believe, a 3/8 hole, and then got 3/8 fastening pins and basically just put them in the holes. So whenever I want to take the doors off, all I have to do is tap those pins out and then unhook the electronics, and that just plug in at the door. And we wired in our own quick connects on the back doors. So everything's completely functional, all the locks work, but the windows are removable, or the doors are removable. And I have tube doors to go with it. So one of my favorite mods, very cool, but just kind of unique. All right, guys, I think that about does it. If you guys noticed something I forgot, because I feel like I'm forgetting stuff, but that is the basics of everything I've done. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you've seen that I didn't talk about, because I'm sure there is. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it answered your questions. I've done a lot to this Jeep, and I'm kind of at the point where I don't know what else to do because I've gone to the bit of extreme with it, other than doing like 1-ton axles and like an LS swap or something like that. So, but this Jeep's sitting at 194,000 miles, runs great, no issues. Everything else has been replaced. So it's a nice Jeep, but I kind of don't know where to go from here. So I've pondered selling it. It's still on the table, but I don't know. We'll see. If you guys have any video ideas for me, let me know in the comments. If you guys haven't seen my 65 Mustang we're working on, please click the link wherever and check that thing out, because we've done a full rebuild engine, rebuilt the entire suspension, drivetrain, everything's brand new. So we're just waiting on a few things and test drives. So that thing's sweet. But if there's anything else you guys would like to see, please let me know in the comments. Other than that, I'll let you guys go. I really appreciate you guys sticking around this far, and hopefully we'll have some really cool content to you guys. I've got some stuff planned with the Mustang. I'll let you guys know here shortly. And anyway, guys, thank you a ton for watching. I love you guys a lot. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Love you guys, as always. Goodbye.